I'm such an amateur, man. You know, I have had dreams and visions, okay? Spiritual dreams and spiritual visions, and as far as publishing it or putting it out to mankind and all of that, you know, there's people that have lived like pretty righteous lives, and they had some awesome dreams and visions, and that generated prophecies, you know. I mean, major prophecies about things, you know, like an angel comes and visits a person who lays down in the sand, you know, and he tells them about the spiritual war that's going on, and they end up writing it down, and highly educated people transcribe it, I suppose, over the years, and thousands of years go by, and here I am reading it, you know. And that's a point of deliberation among mankind. First of all, we get that prophecy and read it, and if we understand it, we have differences of opinions as far as when it happens, if it's already taken place, who it is, whether or not it's legitimate, and those are people who believe in a single God, Christians. And then you have a whole nation who rejects it or alters it, or has an alternative prophet who speaks about different things going on at that time, and so forth and so on. We're really confused. You know, we can't agree on very many things. We can't even agree on when life begins. Is it the Big Bang Theory? You know, does life begin in the womb of a woman, or does it begin when that baby who's inside breathes his first breath of air, rather than being dependent on the mother? So, with that steep challenge in mind, how in the world am I going to produce a dream or a vision that I had in such a way that it would benefit others? And you think about it, it's almost insurmountable to do that, because people don't even believe in God, a lot of them, so they write off the Bible as inaccurate, and it's just more social manipulation, and all of those views are understandable. I mean, there's a spiritual war, in my opinion, and we're pretty well beat up in our minds. We have been our whole life. From our beginning we're attacked, you know. I know I was attacked when I was 4 or 5 years old. It's just never ending. So producing some kind of video on YouTube about dreams and visions that I've had, I struggle with that, because I've done it a number of times. The best one I can think of to net it out quickly is I've always had a hang up with the Sabbath day being the seventh day. Remember the Sabbath to keep it holy, for in 7 days God created the heavens and the earth. That's a point of contention, because mainstream Christianity doesn't honor that day, which is Saturday. They honor Sunday. And I'm not going to go into some big dialogue about it. If when I went back and reviewed history, it looked to me like Constantine back in 327 AD, unless you're using Common Era and all that calendar garbage. He's the one who joined Saturday worship with Sunday worship to bring pagans together with Christians to stop them from fighting. And that's where it began, this Sunday worship deal. But then there's a whole set of conditions and circumstances and visions and dreams in the Bible that talk about the mark of the beast being an alternative to the seal of God, and basically in the end times that's what we face in humanity, that decision. And a lot of it is rooted in that switch from Saturday to Sunday. So if all of that's true, mainstream Christianity, man, they're following the Pied Piper off the end of a cliff. And it's tough to change opinions when you have them in either politics or religion. And I don't really want to be involved in politics, but it's like integrated in religion and you can't get away from it. And I don't really want to be involved in religion either. But I can tell you the dream that I had was involved. Because it came to the point, it cut to the point where my weakness, which I told you was I've always had a hang up with the Holy Day. I was in church and it was on a Sunday, and I was looking at the choir was singing, and I went into a vision. And in the vision I saw only them. It was kind of like tunnel vision. You know, I couldn't see anything else. They were in color and everything else was faded out, and then they were standing on it was like a mountain came up like this, and on top of it was a bunch of buildings. It was a city like New York. And they were superimposed in front of it. The whole city was black and white, but they were in color. And they were still singing, and I could still see them, and I could still feel the pews in front of me where I was standing up singing, you know, along with them. And I saw cracks in the ground, man, and I saw spirits come up out of the ground. These were people who were being resurrected. And I saw kind of like the second coming of Christ, where the dead in Christ shall rise first, and then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds. I saw that. But the thing is, those people who were singing were Sunday keepers. And in my mind I was thinking, what is this? During the vision I was saying, what is this? I mean, these people are lost. I mean, this is the wrong day. This is not God's day. These people, you know, are they saved? You know, I mean, did God save them anyway? Or, you know, what's going on here? And God actually talked to me, sort of like telepathy. It wasn't, you know, physical voice, but definitely weren't my thoughts. And he basically said, these are my people, Paul. Don't touch. And man, I didn't even know if I wanted to share that with anyone, but to make a long story short, there's been issues in my life in the past where I have helped people to self-destruct in their faith, because I'm really rough around the edges. So I respect that, and I thought about a lot. That was definitely meant for me, because he was basically telling me, don't mess with this church, don't destroy their faith. You know, they're still under construction, and yeah, the people who were singing in the choir were his people. So that was a pretty humbling experience, and I don't know how to put that down. I mean, I've tried to write it, I've tried to draw pictures of it, I've tried to eloquently explain it, but the beginning of this little snapshot here, I told you the truth. It's an insurmountable challenge to try to lay something out when people who lived before me, generations before me, a millennium before me, have had major visions and prophecies that even to this day bring out the worst in people. And so I just leave it in the hands of God. That was like a personal vision that I had. It was really meant for me.